Most hotels have room numbers in the place you'd expect them, about eye level outside your room door. However, a few hotels also have a second room number sign positioned about 1 foot above the floor. Why?
Small robots.
The dogs that can read.
Yeah, I second. Dogs that can read.
Yeah, thank you, Becky.
Babies. Babies that can read.
The babies that can read. For like the toddlers that escape their room and they can't find their way back. You know, like when a toddler grabs the wrong dad's legs?
I don't.
So, I don't either, but I feel like at some point during my childhood, I would have done that, and just my parents have never told me about it. I love that you seconded the tiny dogs that can read over the robots.
I just stayed in a hotel the other night with my dog, and he had the most fun time finding the room by smell. He didn't need it to read to find the room. He's like, I was there before, and he found his way back. Yeah,
that's so silly. Cute.
Yeah. It's like, this is our room. I also used to clean hotel rooms in high school at this like really gross truck stop hotel in my hometown.
That's a great high school job story to have.
It's my first time I got to work alone, and I realized like, oh, this is great. I could have my headphones on, and although like I had to wear big gloves and was not very pleasant otherwise, like at least I got to be by myself, you know, and chilling out. So I'm trying to think like, because I wheeled a cart around and like the cart blocks the door, but not like the eye level part of the door.
This is an entire tangent, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I remember reading a news story about there being training schools in Las Vegas for people who clean hotel rooms. That there is like a standard, and it's now such a hyper-efficient, optimized system that they're expected to do everything in like so few minutes that they now have to pay for their own training, which feels like another failure of the system somewhere.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Wait, they have to pay for their own training?
Yeah, like in the same way that a lot of companies won't hire an engineer without a degree, a lot of hotels won't hire someone unless they've been to one of these schools, so they don't have to train them themselves.
I see. This is kind of gatekeeping thing to keep the quality of a certain level. And also, but also like if they work at the fancier hotels, the fancier tips they get. So maybe it works out if it's the more expensive hotels. I don't know.
I just have a feeling that it doesn't work out, but that's me.
That was not my experience. I required no training.
Okay.
Still untrained. Becky's turn.
That's a good title for a podcast.
That is a good title.
That is a great title.
I think I know the answer.
Oh, you're just going to come. Let's go for it.
In case of a fire and you're crawling on the floor and the fire people need to be able to find which room.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Becky, big brain.
Wait, why don't all hotels have that then?
They want you to die in a fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I was recently at a hotel where I was in the shower and the fire alarm went off and I was like, crap, I'm like literally naked in the shower. So I kind of like finished up and I dried off and the fire alarm's still going out and I like poke my head out and people are kind of poking their head out and no one has left the building. Like I walked down the hall and looked out the front door and no one left the building. And I was like, do we not believe in fire alarms anymore? Like we've all lived through so many false alarms. It's usually a drill. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, because everyone's like, it's probably a drill.
Statistically.
Do they do drills at hotels?
They do drills everywhere they have a fire alarm. It's the law. I mean, at least where I live.
Oh, okay. I've been outside a hotel at night like 3 or 4 times in my life now, and it's just a lot of grumpy people. But the alarm's so loud that there's nothing you can do about it. It's just, I felt like, well, either I stay in my room and get hearing damage and possibly die of a fire, or fine, I will put on a coat, I'll get outside. But everyone was grumpy about it. When I was at university, if there was a fire alarm in the block I was in, you could go to like the center of the quad and the admin building and read off the fire alarm whose room it was that set off the alarm.
Oh, that's brutal.
We found that out in like the first week of like staying, because we're all like freshmen, 18, 19.
No one knows how to make macaroni and cheese yet.
We're all outside and it's like 2 a.m. and a delegation arrives from like the house three doors down, led by a drunk Scotsman wearing a dressing gown who is being pushed in a shopping cart by someone else, who's just like, who's room 9? It's that guy. What were you doing? And it's like, I was smoking. And it's like, could you not? Like, yeah, okay, fine, wonderful. Like, that was the best deterrent anyone had, knowing that you were going to be publicly shamed for setting the fire alarm off.
Exceptional.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wish that happened in my undergrad.
I got written up for having, or I had to write an essay for disciplinary reasons in college on fire safety in dormitories. And okay, I'm just going to say, if you don't want rocket motors in dorms, then like give rocket people fire safety boxes. Anyway, so I ended up pulling the fire logs for the entirety of like the history of the fire, like safety records of my university, and 25% of fire alarms in freshman dormitories were caused by Easy Mac.
Yes, Becky, you are absolutely right. I'll try and drag this back from the fire anecdotes. You're absolutely right. It is accessibility. It is so that if there is smoke from a fire and you're crawling along the floor, you can find your way out. But also firefighters coming in can look down and check the room numbers.